Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new, welcome. My name is Monica and today I'm going to be talking about my favorite read by month. So I saw Michae from Michae do this and I was like, I'm going to do it this way. I am going to start just telling you about each book that I read by month from January until now, except I can't give you December because I have not found one that has been a 5-star read in December yet, and it is December 12th that I'm filming this video, and I haven't yet to have a 5-star read. Anyway, but I will link her video down below, so if you want to go check her out, I'm sure you have, but she inspired me to do this, so let's just get into it. For my January favorite was Heartless by Elsie Silver. I gave this 5 stars. I read Flawless last year, I read it at the beginning of this year, and I was not entirely impressed with Flawless. But I was like, okay, I'll give it one more chance, and Heartless came, and I was like, I'm sold, and it was fantastic. I loved Kate and Willa, and I loved their banter. I loved it, how they went back and forth with each other. I loved how Willa could hold her own against Kate. That one scene in the, not the hot tub, funny enough, but in the kitchen during Luke's birthday party. That lives kind of rent free in my head, I'm not gonna lie. Still does. But for me, it was her love for Luke, his son, and his love for his own son, and the way they became a found family. I loved it, and I loved the dynamic of all the side characters as well. That book was just a 5-star. It was a great start to 2023. And for February, my favorite read for February was In a Jam by Kate Canterbury. This was Shay and what was his name? Noah. Sorry, I had to think about that for a second. It's been a while since I've read this book. Friendship Rhode Island. It's a second chance. They were friends when they were kids. She was left at the altar, and she was like, she needed a new place to go. She inherited a farm, and yeah, she went back to Rhode Island, and he's now a single dad to his niece, and I loved his niece. She swore like a pirate. I loved it. I loved the way the niece was written. She was just not like Luke from Heartless. His niece, Jenny, was very dynamic as a character. She was written well, and there was a lot of healing, and there was a lot of heart in this story. To me, this book was written so well, and he was a grumpy, pining hero, and I loved every minute of this book. So yeah, that was my February pick. For March was The Heartless Duke by Scarlett Scott. This was a true enemies to lovers. This one was, you had to you should read book 1 before you read book 2, but Bridget and Leo, they were perfection, okay? So she is part of the Irish Rebellion. She did some pretty naughty things in book 1, and Leo is an aristocrat, an English aristocrat, and he wanted her. They had a lot of chemistry, a lot of banter, and he called her Banshee. She was calling him her curse. It went from like I hate you to eventually till I love you. So it went from I really hate you, where they were calling each other that, to a term of endearment. So it was a true hate enemies to lovers. It was so good. I enjoyed that one immensely. For April was Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This one really, there's a lot of little moments that were angsty from their fears and their anxieties. His fears crippled him. His name's Jacob, and her name's Brianna. She was so distrustful of men after what happened with her ex-husband cheating on her, but he has such generalized anxiety and fear of crowds and people and stuff. And it was, the way it was written was just so beautifully and perfectly done that I was impressed. Anxiety is not something new. I know anxiety well. So yeah, their bond that they had together, they were able to calm each other in a way that you could tell that their bond was very strong. They both fell in love with each other in such a way that made this book very beautiful for me. And there was definitely humor in this book, but it didn't distract from the heart of this book, and I really loved it, and I gave it 5 stars. Let's see, where am I at? May. For May was Echoes of You by Catherine Cowles. This is Nash and Maddie's story. So Nash is the protector, and Maddie comes back in to town after running from an abusive ex-husband. And it was just so well done. I enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. It was just one of the best books I've read from Catherine Cowles. In June, and this was on one of my TBRs for the year. This was Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. This one, holy crap. This one, again, trigger warning for domestic violence, rape on page, stalking, forced pregnancy, and contraception tampering. This was not done by the hero. If it was done by the hero, I'd be pretty annoyed. However, this one is also a basketball romance. Iris had a instant connection when she met August, but she was in a relationship. The thing is, with Kennedy Ryan, she doesn't shy away from the tough subjects, but she does handle it with care. Iris is an incredibly strong and dynamic character. August is a very strong character. He's there to back up Iris. I feel like he's also there to make sure that her and her child is protected when Iris needs him to be. He's not going to go in all guns blazing. This is very much, and this is also a sports romance, which I didn't expect it in a sports romance. I wouldn't normally expect this in a sports romance. I knew what it was going in because I've heard enough about it from other people. This is so well written, and the characters were well rounded. They were beautifully written, but you have to get past the first part of the book because it is hard to read, and because again she doesn't Kennedy Ryan does not shy away from it. However, when you get to the love story between Iris and August, it is such a gorgeous love story, and there's so much romance between August and Iris, and it's a beautiful story. So I highly recommend that one if you can get past the beginning. So for July, I read Final Offer by Lauren Asher. So here's the thing with this one, or this one is Cal's story. Here's the thing with Cal, is he's an addict, and he never wanted to get clean until Lana, until he came back. This is really second chance. Cal's grandfather is like diabolical in the way he wrote his will. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty diabolical. To force his grandsons to better themselves. That was fairly ingenious. This is very angsty, very gorgeous and romantic, and it was very heartbreaking because Cal really suffers because of his addiction to alcohol. Lana, her older sister, is also an addict. Lana is a single mom. She adopted her niece, who was prematurely born. However, not adversely affected by that, so thank goodness for that. She won't allow Cal or anybody else to be in her daughter's life or her life who will not go to rehab or stay clean because of what happens. And oh my gosh, the one scene that made me tear up and made me cry was the birthday party, because the way he slipped, because the way he drank just to take the edge off, because he felt like everybody was judging him, and they were judging him. And then he kept drinking and drinking and drinking, and Lana kept getting angrier and angrier and angrier, but he kept drinking and drinking and drinking because he just didn't, he was just like, he couldn't handle the judgment and the anger, and she was getting angrier and angrier and angrier because it's a cycle, and it was written really well. And this is my favorite Lauren Asher book. So yeah, I highly recommend that one. And for August, and I wouldn't have never picked this one up if it wasn't for Cheyenne from That Tall Book Girl, is Unbreak My Heart by Nicole Jacqueline. This one, I actually thought I was gonna really hate this hero because he does some pretty crappy things to the heroine. Ooh, this is Surprise Pregnancy. So Kate Evans has loved Shane since she was a kid. Shane loved her, but he married Rachel, her best friend. Kate is always taking care of her kids. Rachel dies in a car accident. He's screaming for his wife, gets drunk one time, has sex with Kate, gets her pregnant, and then treats Kate horribly, like so horribly, like I'm talking unforgivably horribly. It was really hard, but the groveling in this book was so good. I really liked it. I was surprised how much I liked it. There was one scene where I actually thought the heroine was going to be weak in the doormat because the way she hung around. She was not. She stood up for herself. She stood up for those kids against him. And it was good. It was good. She was very strong and resilient. I really liked this book. I gave it 5 stars. For September, and I got this as an audio arc, and it was Here With Me by Brooke Montgomery. This is an age gap forbidden taboo. This is X's dad, and this one starts off with him attempting to unalive himself because of a tragedy, and then jump decades later, and he meets our kick-ass heroine. Her name's Noah, and she is a barrel racer. I think that's what it is. Anyway, they end up hooking up, and they end up being very much attracted to each other, and they end up falling in love with each other, and it is a really well done story. I enjoyed this book very much. I gave it 5 stars. I had a really good time with it. It hit me in all the feels. It was what I needed when I needed it. And I really do like X's dad. I don't know why. I just do. October. Man, this one caught me. This one literally caught me off guard. I did not think I was gonna like this one, but I did. It was Butcher and Blackbird. This one was disgustingly good. I had no idea I thought I was gonna like this. I saw this creeping around. I was like, okay, I'll try it, see if I like it. I didn't realize I needed this in my life till I did. It's about two serial killers who play a game and go after serial killers together. And yes, there is unintentional cannibalism in this book. I didn't realize that was the thing until I read this book. And yeah, it is a thing. Anyway, both have a lot of psychological issues that clearly were never treated. And you could tell, I did do the audiobook, and Lucy Rivers and Joe Arden, fantastic. You could tell they were having the time of their lives when they were narrating, because they were having a good time. Sloane and Rowan, they're match made, and whatever. I mean, they complimented each other, and they were he was fangirling or fanguying when he met her. It was so fun. This was such a fun book. It was also very gross. So don't ever eat while reading this book. Whatever you do, do not eat while you're reading this book, but it is so good. I could have really done without the accidental cannibalism though, or even not the accidental cannibalism, I must say. But yes, this was very well done, and I really enjoyed that epilogue and how she sort of took the usual epilogue and made it interesting. I have to say that really was very fun. And then for November was Too Good to Be True by Christian Ashley. This one was so different, so unique, that I just had to give it the top spot. And not only that, I still think about it. This one is an old English manor, an old murder mystery, an earl who falls in love with an American heiress at a house party. I felt like I was in a historical romance, a romantic suspense, and a contemporary romance all tied up into one. It was so interesting, and the plot was messy. The setting was fantastic. I enjoyed it all. I enjoyed the romance. I enjoyed the mystery. I enjoyed the characters, the messiness of the plot, the setting. I enjoyed the who killed the mistress from back in the 1910s. I loved the dynamic between the main characters and the side characters, specifically the dynamic between Daphne, who was our heroine, and her stepmother, who was actually her age. And I really loved the Earl, who's Ian, and how he grew to desire her, and when he committed to her, he was all in, and how he protected her from what was happening around her. It was just such a good read. And this one, it was such a surprise. I didn't even know, like I said before, didn't know it was coming out. Had no idea it existed until I saw it, and I was like, oh, okay. And I randomly picked it up, and I was so glad I did. It was fantastic. I literally came out of nowhere, loved it, gave it 5 stars, and to me, it was one of the best reads I've had all year. So, and I still think about it. It was definitely 5 stars. So yeah, like I said at the beginning of this video, I still haven't found something that topped that one, or even or any of my other ones. I still haven't gotten anything past 4.5 stars. My only one that's like 4.5 stars was a novella from Helena Hunting, and it was because it was fun, it was nostalgic, but it's not a favorite. It was just like fun to see. It was Where It Begins by Helena Hunting. It was because I saw Teenage Violet Waters or Violet Hall with teenage Randy and or Randy Ballistic and teenage Buck Butterson, which was kind of fun to see. And it was just literally a fun, quick novella, and I saw it, and it was good. That was my only 4.5 star read this whole entire month, and it's December 12th. So I'm like, I hope I find something good soon, because you got to start doing my wrap-ups for December in 2023. So I hope I find something soon. So if you got a one that you think I'm gonna like that's a 5-star read, please let me know down below, because I would love to end December in 2023 with a real banger. And let me know if you have any what's on your favorites list for 2023 so far. But if you made it this far in this video, but you want to let me know that you've been here, but you don't want to leave a comment, please leave me a snowflake emoji. And until next time, my friends, happy reading. Bye.